Welcome to Janet Russell Presents The Daily Blue. Well, here I am back, another fabulous Monday. I tell you, it's getting better and better. And tonight, or today I should say, I am so blessed and so thrilled to have a very, very famous young man with us. Okay, I say young because I'm old, so everybody's young to me. Mr. Pat Sommers, and Pat is an entertainer. And Pat was originally born in Manhattan, and he transposed over to Virginia, okay? And he has got such a beautiful story to tell, and it's going to touch your heart. And I'm going to let Pat tell it, because nobody can tell a story better than ourselves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so thrilled that you came out here from Virginia.
I am too.
Specifically for the show.
That's right.
And that makes my heart feel good.
Mine too.
I love it when I have people that just, they come out special.
I love it too.
So, since you're here and you have an amazing story, and I just love the way how your path brought you to help so many that are very talented and sometimes what's the word I want to use? Sometimes I want to say the illness, and I'm going to say it's an illness, or I should say the disability. Is tragically manipulated, where there's a gift beneath a gift.
Right.
If that makes any sense at all.
Right. Absolutely.
That might be my easiest way of saying that.
Right. It's almost like a Christmas present that you just don't open.
Exactly. So Pat, thank you so much for coming here.
It's my pleasure.
So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about your background, how you got started, what you did, and I hear you were some famous.
Since I was a little boy, music played through the house. All kinds. That's what saved me. I came from a working class family. Always a mommy at home.
Right.
Dad always working.
Of course. Yeah.
So my mother was an awesome singer.
Okay.
Which is where I got it from. And an awesome dancer.
So you had the talent's already bought in.
Yeah,
Great.
So even as a little boy, I even had mentioned this to somebody else, that, if a samba or a Latin song came on, she would teach me how to do this. She would teach me how to dance, and actually pulled that shyness out of the way.
You were shy too? I was shy too. One time. I was shy one time too.
Yeah.
Never know it, but I was.
And just if you could pull the shyness out of you, and that's what a lot of young kids have, is shyness. They're afraid of being critiqued by somebody.
Exactly.
And that's what fear is when it comes to that. Yeah. I'm not,
Thank God for that.
And I teach the kids that, what are you afraid of? Don't do that. Don't be afraid, because people can smell nervousness and fear in the room.
Heartbeat. Good.
So I want them to
Especially special children.
Especially special
children.
Yeah.
Right?
So, we struggled through life there for a while, and we moved to Sutton Place in New York City, and it was a much better place to be raised.
I think so. Yes.
And there wasn't any particular schools that taught you music. There was one, and everybody went to it. And ever since I was a young guy, I never wanted to be like anybody else, so I did my own thing. I learned.
You're unique, and I like uniqueness. That's important.
It's got. I've got to be able to figure it out. I don't need to be spoon-fed this.
No, I agree.
And I guess my first performance was when I was 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And there's actually a picture of that somewhere. I'm sure my mother has that picture, so I'm glad she has that.
And what did you do
proof.
when you were 5?
Oh, I performed a song off of Sesame Street called "I've Got 5 People in My Family." I still remember the words too.
I love it. I love it.
And that applause kind of
oh my God,
got to me. It was like the closest.
Like you were accepted.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that's what everybody wants.
Of course they
And
do.
you live for acceptance, but it was that applause that did it to me. So we skip ahead to me starting to like bands. The Beatles, of course, was one of them.
Oh goodness, yes. We talked about that before we.
It was it was an easy decision. It was either be a fireman or it was either be one of the Beatles, and You know,
Because
you got 4,000 women screaming for 4
You
guys.
love
Was
that.
the better
Every
job.
man loves that.
That's the better job. So I picked that job. And it was just by being humble and nice to people when I would meet them that they would give me opportunities, you know. The guys in KISS lived around my neighborhood.
Okay.
Saw them all the time. Almost to the point where they knew my
I
name.
just met Mark Mendoza the other day.
Yeah, Mark
Twisted
is a
Sister.
great bass
Yes,
player.
and he was talking about KISS.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I've seen him a bunch of times.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. Make a long story short, I actually, as a child, got to see the organization KISS come together before it was what it was.
Wow.
So I learned a lot
Of course you did.
of
Yeah, watch
how to
it.
speak, what not to do,
Mhm.
and be nice, you know.
Well, you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. I've always said that.
Yeah, absolutely. And started playing out, and then it started turning into where the feeling of playing music for people was one of the only times I felt whole.
Interesting.
Just,
Wow.
you know, you walk on, you feel like $1 million. You
course.
walk off and you go like, oh, you know, I can't wait to do it again tomorrow. you know?
Exactly. It becomes part of who you are, and it's not even about the cheers. It's just about paying it forward,
Mhm.
entertaining and making people happy.
Right.
And that's what it really truly comes down to.
Absolutely. And that's when I knew, like, it happened then, but I wasn't aware of the children with disabilities. When you're 21
Of
years old, you're not
course.
even thinking about that kind of stuff.
Certainly, yeah.
But I noticed that there was emotion being, if you did your job well,
Mhm.
then you pulled emotion out of people.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what being a great singer is all about.
Of course, of course.
To pull something out of somebody.
That's it. Make them feel, wow.
That's your job.
Look at the energy.
Right, that's your job.
So
Let them
pleasant.
escape for half hour, 45 minutes.
Exactly.
Take them to your world, because your world is just gonna be a fun moment,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
From there, I got a great manager who worked for KISS and
That worked.
started working with these, heroes of mine. They just weren't like normal rock stars. These were guys like I had up in my wall and,
Sure.
just totally like pinching myself the whole time.
Mhm.
Like, why do I belong here? Should I be here?
But you were gifted, and that's why you, this was already planned, you're aware of that. This was already pre-planned in the universe for this year. Well, we're coming down to the time for our commercial, so we'll be right back with Pat Sommers and more of this interesting discussion about your fabulous son.
Yeah.
Great.
Hi, I'm Tim Stead. I'm from Star Communications. We're a marketing support company. And if you need help with your next marketing project, please call 273-1900 or you can go to our website, starcommunications.us.
Okay, well, we're discussing your fabulous son, and let's tell the audience a little bit more about how you got involved in doing what you're currently doing now, since you did retire, and now you're helping so many more. It's still in the entertainment field, really.
Yeah.
It really is.
It started with me being, them telling me that Kellen wasn't going to be able to speak well. There's just some things that I just said I wasn't going to let that, or we weren't going to let that happen.
Right, exactly.
So he did start talking, but it wasn't just, he started talking well, by me, and this is what I always say, which is the most important thing for parents to know. There's some who know it, there's some who don't, and I never want to step out of my boundaries
Of course not.
with parents, but we tend to pity our children who have disabilities. And my biggest mantra is, if we pity them, we kill them.
Oh, yeah.
Pity is bad. Pity doesn't let them.
You're bringing the negative side of it,
Mhm.
and you need to stay positive. Everybody needs to stay positive with whatever the gift is that they've got.
Yeah.
I have a disabled daughter, so I so feel, there's days you just want to pull your hair out, but you say, well, you know what? They're a gift.
Absolutely.
And that's the way you have to look at it.
So after Kellen started coming into light with me. I started working with other kids, teaching. Well, I had taught a little bit when I was retired.
Mhm.
That's how I got the bite of it, because I loved watching them grow.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, it's the children who, when you introduce them to the piano or you introduce them to an instrument or something, and they don't want to do anything else, but they hone in on that instrument.
They're so, it's almost like it's their life.
Mm-hmm. And you just
And they're so
have to
neat.
take your time.
Oh, yes.
People actually sometimes come to me and think that I'm going to lay my head on their child's head and go, the power of rock
Yes,
and roll
yes,
is going to
yes.
make you. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love that to happen,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It takes time to
Oh,
find
certainly.
them.
Of
They're
course it
in
does.
there.
Yeah.
So we have to go in to them
Exactly.
and find that happy medium to where they're in our world and we're in their world. We spend way too much time wanting them to be neurotypical.
Right, what we want them to be, exactly.
Right, and we want them to be because society, we feel, will accept them much, easier, right? But I wouldn't change Kellen for the world.
How could you? He's a blessing to you, my God. He's
he-
taught you so
no.
much, more than you've taught him. I'm
No,
sure.
well, more than anybody in my life has taught me. I mean, he's taught me to, these children, that's where the special part of these kids come in. They're
And
wonderful.
it's unique. So can I present something to you?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We talked a little bit about it before. I'm very big on trying to promote special children that are talented.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been talking about this for quite a while, and now I have some politicians that are very interested in basically, hopefully with God's help, helping out.
Mm-hmm.
And I really truly feel, because I know your son is gifted, and some of the people that you teach,
Yeah.
I definitely want to do, and Long Islanders, you need to hear this, because this is going to be in the works.
Yeah.
We'd love to, hopefully, when it gets warmer, April, May, somewhere where it's,
Mhm.
it's, let's try to put together, not try, let's do it. I don't
Right.
like the word try, because
Right.
try is not a word I want to use. Let's put together a talent show for special needs children.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
100% will get donated back to their talents. How
Right.
about that?
I would love that. And, there was something else that I saw. I always go through the YouTube channels to
Mhm.
look at these children. And it was funny because there was a child who cannot speak,
Okay.
but in front of 20,000 people, he came out and he sang better than I had ever heard anybody sing in my
Is this
life.
amazing?
And then when he was done, he closed down.
That's amazing, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like opening up a secret key or something.
Right. And
It's funny, I have a friend of mine who's got a grandson who's got Down syndrome. He does the best Michael Jackson. And that's what really kind of opened me up to saying, wait a minute now, just because these children are labeled, and I don't like labels on anything.
No, I don't either.
It's very wrong. Why not because they're as normal as you and I
Mhm.
in many other ways.
Right.
Their unconditional love, which I so love about these special kids.
Me
you
too.
know. And I hate to even call them special because they are normal in many more ways than we are. They feel their intensity of their love is so much. They don't judge, and I love that about them.
No, they
Where
just-
we're judgmental people, unfortunately. You know?
Right, the idea that I have to
Yeah.
open up a bill and
Yeah.
be worried about how much that
Yeah,
bill is
yeah,
gonna
exactly.
be. All that my son says is to me like, lunch, And I love that. I wish I could have that life where I,
Because they don't have all that
Right.
hassle. So how about if we talk about this and we discuss it, and, maybe we can plan, and, and I know there's a lot of Long Islanders out here who, there's a lot of different groups. I've done fundraisers for special needs groups as
Mhm.
well. So maybe if we, between now and then, I know you're in Virginia, but maybe we can put something together and I can contact some of these places and say, look, I know these kids are gifted, let's put it together, In
Mhm.
fact, I did, you've heard of Paul Sorvino, I'm sure, okay? Well, he's-
Awesome.
Okay, well, Bill Sorvino is my friend.
I love
The
him.
Golden, he did the, I think.
Goodfellas.
Yeah, but his,
My favorite parent.
but, Bill.
Uncle
has-
Paulie.
Right, I've met him actually, of course. Bill is a good friend of mine, Bill Sorvino, and that's his, I think it's, He's Paul's his uncle.
Right.
And I've met them, and he's got, Bill's got two special needs children.
Wow.
That has autism.
Mhm.
And he did a thing last year at the film festival, which we videotaped, and he had Tommy Hilfiger. Tommy Hilfiger's a very big supporter
Yeah.
of autism.
Yeah.
So I had talked to Bill last year when I
Mhm.
seen him. He had actually come out and did my cable show with me. I'm sure you'll meet him, definitely. And I said, look, I really want to do something for this because, and it's just not the autism, it's all the children with
Right,
special needs.
right.
Because they're all talented in their own way. And I said, he's doing this now in New Jersey. And I said, wouldn't this be great if we could get this going through every state? Because
Right.
every state's got it, And then I had on Sarah Anker, she was on here, and she's a very good legislator here, and I talked to her about it.
Mhm.
And, and other legislators, other politicians locally.
Right.
And it's something that needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely, 100. And you know what? Here's the other thing too. I've done the research on bona fide rock stars who I adore,
Right.
who I love, who have children, who have autism.
Exactly.
They have disabilities. Well, you know what? The only way we're going to get this out where we need it to be is if they help too.
Oh, and they will. They will.
It's like I know
You will be
you're.
very amazed.
I know you're in a big rock and roll band, but you know what?
Yeah.
Let's pull this together and
Let's do it.
Let's get the world to hear it.
Totally.
Yeah.
We'll videotape it, we'll get it out there. But anyway, I just got the message, we're down to the last 2 minutes. You see how
that's
fast
fine.
it goes?
Yeah, but I wanted to do
Well,
another
that-
4 hours.
Well, we'll have to come back and do it again.
I will.
So why don't you tell the audience how to contact you? Okay.
You can contact me through our website, which is www.patsummersrockshop.com. You could scroll through. Now, we do have programs for, of course, the teenagers who want to learn rock and roll.
Great.
Those are the kids who actually take care of the other kids who
Oh, I love
have
it.
problems, and I teach them that.
I love that.
Yes, they have to, otherwise they
Beautiful.
get tossed. I love you all, by the way. We do have our autistic program, we have our regular program, and we're getting bigger and bigger all the time
Well,
with it.
this is the time.
But, I am going to do some traveling back and forth to you,
Great,
to
definitely.
everybody else,
Yes,
because it's kind of here,
right.
and it needs to be spread out
It's going to
nationwide.
be. Believe me, this has been on my heart for many years that I've been wanting to do it. And the more I talk about it, the more it opens up. And I'm very fortunate, I know a lot of movie stars as well,
Right?
through people that I know, and they're all for it. So
Right.
this might be a real big to-do.
Right, so no pity and 100% realizing that each kid that has autism is in there, no matter what.
And they're beautiful, and they're real, and they just have pure love.
You just have to go in there and get them.
Exactly. Pat, thank you so much. I
Thank
so
you.
appreciate you coming down.
I loved being here.
And we're gonna get you back a few more times.
I will come, I will, yes, I will, definitely.
Leave it up to me. I know a lot of people that we're gonna connect you with.
I hear you.
Anyway, if you want to contact me, you can call me at 631-654-3353. You can email me at rosebudsjanetmsn.com. You can go to my website and find out where I am, because I am all over the island. I don't even know half the time where I am. I have to check my book to find out where I'm going every day. See you next week. My website is janrussellpresents.com. Good night, God bless, be good to each other, but most of all, be good to you.
Rock and roll.